Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, on a mission to improve financial illiteracy worldwide. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and check out the Investing with Confidence YouTube show. So, Al, as we get into this final segment here, we've covered several topics here today. We talked about how the smart money really moves price, how price moves on a price chart. And that is supply and demand. That's really how anything moves in our everyday life. Also, how that's applied to stocks, options, futures, and Forex. So there's a lot of terminology there that we've introduced to a lot of listeners today. And some people may have heard it before, but maybe just not know what it is. It's not new. It's just a little bit different. So we talk about conditioning every week. People are conditioned to do certain things. And one of those conditioning aspects of our life is we're conditioned to think that we can't do things.
Yeah, that's right.
We're told from a young age, don't run with scissors. Don't jump on the coffee table. Get off that chair. Don't do this. Don't do that. We're also told, don't manage your own money. Right. And it's unfortunate because then we're leaving our futures in somebody else's hands. And it could be a friend of a friend of a friend of another friend that you may not even know. And do they really have your best interest? So we have a lot of listeners and viewers that want to understand how to get started and do it themselves. How do people get started in these financial markets, especially if they're brand new?
Well, think about this for a minute. Years ago, that advice probably was good. Don't do this on your own. You don't know how to do it. You're not going to do well. And by the way, a lot of times that advice comes from people that just couldn't do it themselves, or that maybe they don't want you to do it. They don't want you to succeed when they weren't able to do it. But years ago, where did you get the knowledge? Where did you get the education to be able to have the opportunity to be successful? It just wasn't there. This is our 24th year. We probably are one of the oldest financial education facilities in the world, and we are worldwide. But one of the problems is that the education wasn't there. Now it is. Things have changed. The access to the market is there for everybody. The ability to put money into something is there, which is good and bad. It's bad if you don't know what you're doing. But the education is available. The high-speed internet is available. So trading platforms are very fast now and allow you to do things that you used to have a broker do for you. And the cost of trading is almost non-existent. A lot of companies now have zero commissions for stock trading. The cost for trading options, for trading futures and Forex really isn't even a consideration, or very little consideration in the trades that you make right now. The cost has gone down so much. It used to be you had to call a broker, and maybe it cost you a couple $100 to do a trade. You don't have to do that now. But your parents, your grandparents, that's how they were trading. If they were in the markets, they were using a financial services company to do that, thinking that that's the only way that you could do it now. But that's not the case. So, but you want to make sure that you do it with confidence. Again, that's the reason that we are now calling the show Investing with Confidence. That is what we do. Our goal is to teach you how to access the markets with confidence and with comfort. One of the ways you do that is with a plan. If you go into the kitchen of somebody who cooks a lot, what do you see on the shelf?
You see cookbooks.
You see cookbooks or maybe recipe cards, because when they're going to make something, they know what they want it to look like. They know what they want it to taste like. So they follow a recipe that gets them to that end point. And you do the same thing with a plan in your financial life. So look at this plan as being like a recipe book. It should start out with identifying where you are now and where you want to be. What do you want your future to look like in 5 years or 10 years or whatever the time period is for you? And then how do you bridge that gap between where you are now and where you want to go? It starts with knowledge, with the education part of it, which is knowledge and skill building. It includes the ability to control the psychological part of trading, in other words, your emotions, because that can be the biggest impediment to you being successful. And then it should include the reason that you're doing this. What is your why? That's what's going to keep you motivated. And everybody would say, yeah, well, I want to be in the market because I want to make money. But that's not the real reason. What is it that you want to do with your money? That's your why.
Yeah, it comes down to having that proper plan. And Al, it takes some steps within that plan, and it takes steps to follow. And that way you have more comfort and confidence going into that plan because you know you have steps that you've built and
Right.
built over some knowledge. Then you build the skill. And that's where trading and investing comes into play, is having that proper skill. So I want to give away some tickets to an investing class where you talk more about that plan, an education plan, a trading and investing plan. One of the big and key aspects of trading and investing is having the proper community behind you,
Right.
having proper, I guess, like-minded people. Just dissect a little bit what the community at Online Trade Academy really looks like.
Well, it's a community of people that are like-minded in that they want to utilize the financial markets to their benefit. And what we see, Josh, is that when people have come through here, and we've got students that have been here for years, and they have taken advantage of our education, reached that point where they feel very confident about what they're doing. They've achieved consistency in their trading, and they're very eager to help other people. So as students come in that are starting basically from scratch, because most of our students have no experience when they come in, they'll find other people here that are more than willing to help them, maybe form little trading groups. We have events here all the time where our students get together. It's very much like a community or like a country club for traders and investors. And then you also want to have access to mentors, to people that kind of live this life, that do this on a regular basis, that are willing to share their experiences with you. That's part of the education process too. It is not a one-time learn everything kind of a situation. Now, I've mentioned this analogy before, but a child can't learn to ride a bike at a seminar. Mm-hmm. And the same thing is we feel is true with investing and trading. You can go to a seminar, you can get all this knowledge, but the knowledge really is of no value unless you know how to use it, when to use it, and why you're using it. That's the skill building part, which is a process. Basically, it's repeating things that are beneficial to you or that are working in your favor on a regular basis. And that repetition should be with the guidance of somebody who has the experience in trading and investing what you're trading and investing in. And you have that person that's already gone through the trials and the errors, so you don't have to. They're there to guide you, make sure that your path is, you're walking the proper path, kind of going through the maze. They're going to take you by the hand and take you to the exit in that maze, which is the goals that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, it's all about having that community. We believe that community is one of the most important aspects. That way you have somewhere to go, somewhere to ask questions, have people help you, especially get started. If you haven't if you haven't done this before, everybody has that starting point. The most important thing is to get started. And Al, it's getting close to the end of the show. And we have a lot of listeners that want to get started in these financial markets and need a little more encouragement in how to get started. In these investing classes that you teach here at the Academy, you talk more about, I guess, some of the steps that it takes to start investing, the proper assets that you may need. I mean, some people may need stocks. Some people may need to invest in options. Some people are just looking to protect what they have in their portfolio. We have a lot of people that come to these classes that have decent, pretty good sizable retirement accounts, but they just want to protect them. And that is the key, is protecting your future. Al, you've had some great words of wisdom these past couple of weeks, and don't let me down today.
I will try not to. It really comes down to this, Josh. If you want to have the opportunity to succeed, you need to look nowhere other than yourself. You have to take the first step. You have to make the choice that your dreams and your goals are worth an investment of your time and effort. No one can do this for you. And just remember that the limits of your future begin with the limits of your imagination.
It comes down to taking action, Alan. And action is sometimes that tough thing that people can't, do. But now is that time to take that opportunity. Follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out the Investing with Confidence YouTube show. Until next week, retire young, my friends.